Last night, we got robbed in Mexico, and it was a very traumatizing experience, and it was a very jarring experience that left us feeling super violated and unsafe. And I wanted to do this video to share with you my mental processing during, after, and the next day, kind of the different phases I went through, and hopefully treat it like a learning experience, because it was very traumatizing. And I know that in life we all experience some forms of trauma, whether they're small t traumas or big T traumas, and learning how to navigate that is really important. So obviously when it happened, it was super scary and terrifying, and I can't even begin to explain to you the level of anxiety that I felt in that moment. It was like holding back tears the whole time, feeling like I want to throw up, feeling like I need to get out of here. Like it was just that feeling of lack of safety, the feeling of just pure panic. And all I could think of, I want to get out of this Airbnb. I want to get out of here. I just want to leave. I don't feel safe here. And it was like in that moment, you can see how your nervous system activates and you're in that fight and flight, and you're just ready to do whatever it takes to make yourself safe in that moment. And even though I was mentally registering the physiological sensations I was feeling as anxiety, I know that it was just necessary to feel that way so that I could take the next step to get myself to safety. And that's why anxiety is actually a beautiful built-in safety mechanism to help you get out of a dangerous situation. Now, when we experience something traumatizing like that, it is like our feet get swept away from under us. And it's very important that we learn how to balance ourselves and find our grounding after that. And so when all of that adrenaline is flowing in the body, but then it has nowhere to go and we don't come back to equilibrium, your nervous system gets stuck in that fight and flight, and you stay hyper vigilant looking for dangers. And for some people that lasts months and years, if not their whole lives. I could see how it lasted the whole night for me. I got out of the Airbnb, booked myself a very expensive hotel, just so that I could feel safe. And even though I knew that I was safe, I couldn't sleep all night. All night, every sound I hear, what is that? My mind was working 1,000 miles an hour, just hyper vigilance. And I could see that I just needed to discharge that excess energy. So I got up, I kind of forced myself to cry. I was just going through the motions because no tears would come, but I just needed to be like the shaking, the walking around, the moving, the dancing, just trying to move that energy out of my body until eventually at some point I was able to fall asleep. But all night I dreamt of I was being chased to be killed. That was my subconscious mind still going. So when I woke up this morning, I realized I need to do a lot of reframing and a lot of reprogramming so that I can update my subconscious with new software. Because at the end of the day, it's not what happens to us. It is how we perceive what happens to us. And I realized that the way I've been perceiving it is, oh my God, I was in danger. I could have died. Something really bad could have happened. All the what ifs, instead of focusing on the what is. So I had to put a conscious effort into thinking about what is true. And what is true is that I am safe. They only took money. They didn't take our passports, which is the most important thing. And if they were so desperate that they needed to do that to get the money, then I'm going to choose to have compassion in my heart for these people and to let go of the resentment or the anger or the whatever. I don't blame them if they're desperate. Take the money if it's going to make a difference in your life. Because alhamdulillah, thank God, I am grateful. I don't need the money as much as you obviously do. Take it. And so having the compassion replace the fear was a first healing step, because I'm no longer holding that resentment. I chose to let it go. And so that was number one, trying to reframe that I am safe. Nothing happened to me. They needed the money. God bless them. I chose to reframe my energy so that it's more of a blessing as opposed to why did this happen to me? Curses. Blah, blah, blah. And I have to say, like, that really, really, really helped. And so it just goes to show you how much the antidote to fear is really love. It really is love. So when I can fill my heart with love for these people, it does regulate my nervous system. It does make me feel a little bit better. And so spending time this morning meditating on what happened, trying to put a conscious effort into focusing on the reality of what is, not what if. Thank God we're safe. That's all that matters. And if they're better off with that money, then God bless them. So at the end of the day, we're still here, and we gotta make the best out of the situation. We still have a few more days in this beautiful place, in this gorgeous location, and I'll be damned if I let this ruin my entire trip. So I'm going to choose how to respond to the situation as opposed to just automatically react with constant fear and anxiety everywhere I go. And so some takeaways from this is understand that when you experience something scary or traumatic, your body is going to do whatever it needs to get you out of it. And so it's important that you take time to actually discharge that energy so that you can bring yourself back to equilibrium. And when you have your body regulated, the next step is to regulate your brain and reframe your thinking and try to keep your thinking as realistic as possible. And I'm not saying that now I'm like, oh, 100% better, but I know that when I feel the anxiety, I'm gonna do what I need to regulate my nervous system. Havening, rubbing up and down the arms, that's a great way. Tapping is a great way to feel safe as well, and to like have some positive mantras, and to always just choose love instead of fear. I hope you found this video helpful. I don't know, maybe it's also therapeutic for me to do this video so I can remind myself of these things as well. But remember, it's really not what happens to you, it's how you perceive what happens to you, and you always have a choice in how you perceive things.